G'day punters, mailbag preview time for Eagle Farm as a focus. We're also going to touch on Flemington, Pete Anthonisz, Shane Ciurleo, Mark Rhoden, Jack Dickens. Here, Curls, it's your home ground once more. We've got a Group 1 Oaks race. What does the Oaks look like from a first glance?
It looks like a Chris Waller barrier trial, private jump out. He's got a fair number of runners in the race. You sort of hope they'd be able to sort it out, wouldn't you? Get the tactics right. Unlike Wednesday at Warwick Farm, wherever they were, I noticed in the first race, Waller had a couple in and might have got the tactics a bit skew-whiff there with a couple of runners. Anyway, the Oaks, yeah, look, obviously these horses have all sort of, bar a couple, have had a run in Queensland, and those couple being Media Ward and Jack. Can you pronounce the name of the top weight here? Dua?
I think it's Dua's we were going with in Sydney, I think.
Duas.
Yeah. Oh, you keep chatting, old girl.
I hit it in my ass. Sounds like who's that actor who did Fat Boy Slim?
Christopher Walken.
I had the watch in my ass. Duas.
Duas anyway.
It's Irish, Gaelic.
Yeah, and most of these have come through the same race. We had the race at Doomben a couple of weeks ago in the Roses.
Wow. Hang on a second. Edward Cummings, Hugh Bowman. They've combined 3 times, striking at 66.7%, 430% profit on turnover, punters. Wow.
Two wins would be on this horse, wouldn't they?
That's a new, very, very good, exciting feature of the puntingform.com.au layout. But yeah, I wouldn't be taking a lot of notice of sort of 3-start combos, but...
Well, all 3 have been this horse, I just checked.
There you go. Sorry, Kels.
No, don't be sorry. Christopher, Uncle Chris, as he's affectionately known amongst the male baggies. Uncle Chris, he had something like 5 of the 6 first past the pup. 5 of the 6 first 6 home in the Roses at Doomben, which most of these come through. The Mark Newnham trained bargain ran second to Only Words in that race. So that's going to be the race where most of these line up on. If you want to use form links on Punting Form, another great feature on Punting Form. And you can tie all these, a lot of these in together. Sort of didn't mind the effort. If I'm trying to single a couple out here, how do you possibly look at 7 Waller runners and try and decipher whose turn it is in a Group 1? Like, it's nigh on impossible. There was plenty of good runs in the race. There's a couple that weren't suited that got back and made ground. There was a couple that settled closer to the speed and were able to be in the finish. Only Words was strong through the line. Easy Far was another one that settled in front of the sweet spot and boxed on really well. Horse we've been on before. When I first sort of had a look at the replay of Grace and Harmony, I thought it might have just went around.
Wouldn't J-Mac be getting the pick of him?
That's what and J-Mac sticks.
Isn't the sort of like pecking order there? J-Mac, Hugh, the rest.
I would have thought J-Mac, sure.
In a race like this, yes. Although he doesn't shift them around. They make a decision and then stick through a few runs of a prep.
Well, let's have a look at profitability.
Yeah. Look, McDonald and Waller together as a winning combo. Amazingly.
Oh my God.
Yep, as an update.
Last 100 rides, they're 11.3% profit on turnover.
26%.
That's how quick and easy it is, guys, to go on puntingform.com.au and get that sort of data.
And they should be overbet, and they're underbet. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then there's another Waller runner, which I thought went good, called Charm Star.
Yeah.
She's ran very strong late sectional. She ran the second fastest furlong in the race, The race went out 4 lengths faster than average, and she was up on speed. She went negative 2.8 herself, and then still ran the second fastest last furlong in that race. And she was first up for Chris Waller, roughly 2 months between runs from the Trentham Group 1 Oaks in New Zealand to lobby in Queensland. And, you know, the market was like $9 to 15, so we're just going to go around for fitness here. And it's gone enormous running third. If I would love to have Uncle Chris on the job today on the show and just say and give us one that he thinks can win, because you look deep through their field form, they've all got chances.
I honestly don't know. I think they're all going really well. I thought that blah 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 blah. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Yeah. So really, I don't know which way to push you there.
So if you're against that form line, you can be with Duay. Now, Duas.
Get in my house.
So it was like, it's 47 days between runs. It's has had a barrier trial. Has the Hungry Heart form, ran second to Hungry Heart in the Australian Oaks. You would say on a normal preparation that form it would be the form. Isn't trained by Anthony, it's trained by Edward, so that's a tick. That Hungry Heart race rated pretty strongly. Its effort in the Adrian Knox was good when it beat Bargain, who Bargain came here last week, 2 weeks ago, ran in that Roses race. It was very strong late as well. On the Punting Form data, it'll show that it ran incremental sectionals from the 600 to the finish, so it was strong there. Did come off a 35-day freshen with a barrier trial in between, so strong again. The only question I sort of had about this horse is, like, I know it's ran second in Adrian Knox to Duay, finding the line. Seems to always want to be finding the line, this horse. It's only won a Class 1. Did carry Rachel King, admittedly, but only won a Class 1, but then has gone through, obviously, as a 3-year-old filly, has gone and run in the black type races, but got to do it at this level, I suppose, is a little query on it. I'm not sure. It always seems to be running on. And then we've got Media Award, who hopefully the trainer's nose has recovered. Who I think there was something going around Twitter or somewhere, some social media video. I was seeing Chris out the front of a pub with a splattered nose across his face. Looked like he'd been in a fight. I'm gonna pot it though. 33 days between runs up to Queensland. I just can't come into it. I haven't seen a barrier trial for it, so I'm happy to be against it off that break. Geez, I'm waffling on here. I've got nowhere to go with.
Right, I've got some questions for you. Now, if I look at the homepage of the Eagle Farm, the puntingform.com.au homepage, something that stands out to me here is DJ Hansen. He goes at 15% strike rate, just loses on pot overall, 200 off 1,300 runners. So that's what he does. Last 100, he's improved. He's going better than ever. Oh, hang on a second. He's at 104 runners at Eagle Farm, 22% profit on turnover, at only a 9.6% strike rate. A little bit confusing, but is he hot or what, Curls? He's got one runner, Dr. Seuss, race 4, number 7.
Okay, so this is my betting strategy for that stable. If they're $5 into $3, I'd rather take the 3. You know, I've rated at $4. I'd take the $3.
Gotcha.
And always wait, so they're not 5 out to 10.
They don't. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm not backing that stable when they're $5 out of $10.
He's certainly the hottest trainer there on Saturday at Eagle Farm from what I'm looking at.
From a statistical point of view.
Tony and Madison Sears okay as well.
Yeah.
As far as jockeys go, though, nothing's really standing out, to be honest. Except for, I'm not going to say it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, that's well and good. Did we come to a conclusion with the Oaks, though? Do we have a suggestion at the current prices? Do we have a bet? Or is it just like complete who knows, stay out?
Oh, it's going to be a stay out for me purely because of I'm going to get wallered, likely. Unless I see a change of tactics early on. If I do see a change of tactic and Waller's got 6 runners and 2 are going forward, I'll be crossing off those 2 that are going forward, and we could potentially come into J-Mac, who does get a low draw and settles a bit closer here. On the data, 1 and 3 could be a little bit firmer in the market.
And on the Waller setup sort of stuff, we're thinking maybe the 6.
Yeah.
J-Mac off 37 rides versus Hugh at 33 rides, Eagle Farm. J-Mac 9.2% profit on turnover. Huey negative 13.4.
Okay.
Against that, he rode Senor Toba a treat from a shocking barrier last week in the Derby, and gets nothing for that in his stats, does he? On his profit stats, but that was a great ride.
Oh, he's one of the greats.
All right, it can win.
Yeah.
But it's one of the more boring Group 1s I've ever looked at, I think.
It's ridiculous how many Group 1s there are.
Well,
it'll never change. Racing Australia is being united by one of the biggest breeders in the history of racing of Australia. So good luck to it. There'll be double the Group 1s in 2 years, probably. I'll be Wanger out of 4 maidens and 2 listed races on a Thursday.
I'll be for mares only.
Yeah, I was just about to say. Not even fillies allowed. 1 for fillies, 1 for mares.
I have dribbled about this race on the show for 10 minutes, and I've spent about 56 minutes on it already. I'm just trying to work the map out, and I'm just going to wait. And Uncle Chris, I know you watch the show for tactics and tactical advice. Could you come up with a COT and just let us know who's going forward, please? Thank you.
Bye for now.
Okay, very good. Let's go to Eagle Farm.
Live. Thanks for having us. With the review this week, so.
Let's go to race 1 because that looks a little bit more interesting.
Yes, I have questions. Yep.
Take it away, girls.
I want Jack Dickens to get involved here because I sort of should have had something on this earlier. Still might have something on it at this price because this thing just could be like a big go. Number 2, Massaf.
A lot of walking horses. Christopher Massaf. Goes good. What do you want to know about it? Rails and run. Will be voice at midfield. Is that going to be the place to be, Eagle Farm?
Look, just see how we go. Like a little bit last week, it was like
this race 1 though. You're gonna have to go yes or no. Like come Saturday.
Eagle Farm will get, as it traditionally has, they get away from the inside once they chop the top off it. They just want to get out.
An 800 metre race, I think pattern's less relevant.
I think so. But this horse was like embarrassed a poor field the other day. Like whatever, it was like dirty old Ipswich or somewhere. It was a Class 1. Killed him, so it should have. Blah blah. Obviously, I'm not going off that. Obviously, he's got some Melbourne form. Although I don't know whether you'd call it form. He hasn't really got near them, but has been pretty strong grade.
He SP'd 550 versus Mohican Heights. He ran second like a while back to Chapada. It's just like a typical Waller number. If it's on song, it'll gap him.
I think so.
And then you just sort of, depending on how you figure that out. Like, is it pure yard? Like that's what Scurry would do. You're angles and market man, change of tactics man. Cot, just please kill it. But you'd expect it gets a pretty good run, wouldn't you? From 2.
Yeah, it gets a good run. It does get a good run.
Often on a speed map with a Waller horse, you'd probably agree with this too, Cochin, is that if it's drawn inside on a standard speed map and say it's worse at midfield, you can, without being too positive to support your own want to back the horse, it can settle a little bit closer from that inside draw.
Yeah, he said that when we spoke to him, that he lets the barrier in a lot of cases dictate the position.
Actually,
that's not 100% of the time. I mean, if they're drawn real wide and there's no speed on paper, they'll often go forward. But if there is speed inside him, and he said, look, if we draw 7 and there's speed inside, we'll be 7th.
Yeah.
And so then they do have conversely the option to settle handier from 1 or 2 if they want.
A couple of these coming out of a slowly run race 2 weeks ago at Doomben. Tavion Prince led and they went out like 12 lengths slow. Sort of made for a dash home, and Prince of Aragon there basically sat 1-1 or somewhere, maybe 1v2, and just out dashed them. Sort of didn't suit the ones from the back as much. This map, like, it doesn't look like a heap of speed. Again, that Tavion Prince can get up and rolling. And that's what I thought from gate 2. I think he can be like in a much handier position this time around, Masaf, and hasn't settled close, often though. That's the only little query, I suppose. Like,
there's enough money earlier though to suggest that it's going pretty well and it's going to settle closer, isn't there? Like it's open $14 at tab. It's down at $6.50.
Yeah. If it's on song, it could start $4.
And one of our friend of the show, Traduce, is in. What do we do with it? I love this horse.
So do I. Everything I say is pocket related, obviously.
100%, and it was like a reverse double press for me because it was one of your earlier bets, and I got I knew I was going to get lost in the morning, so I had a little bit more on it that day that it won early in the day.
His last couple of runs have been on good tempo races where he's able to sort of sit back and get the job done. He is 33 days between and does come back in trip a little bit. So, like, there's some stables that 30 plus days without a trial are just pen jobs, and they're the not the big stables, like, those small half hobby trainer types. So I can't be with him today, Saturday, off that. The most interesting runner here for me is the 11 Incentivize. Now, friend of the show, Incentivize, big winner at the Sunshine Coast 2 starts ago. Killed them at Toowoomba by 7.5 lengths last start. Back in trip here, but he's a horse on the rise. I'll tell you what could be happening here. He could be just sort of going back to last and having a good look around because he's qualified for the Provincial Stays Championship, which is a big money race for lower class horses, which is on Ipswich Cup Day. I think traditionally it's held Ipswich Cup Day. So sort of back in trip, going around just for the odd, $40,000 to the winner standard Saturday race with a race down the track that's extremely more suitable to him. He could be just out to have a look, I reckon, and he takes up a little bit of market percentage around 550. So would not be surprised if he started double that based on that. Could be completely wrong, but I'm going to just watch with what the market tells us there.
What about also friends of the show, Kempy and Bailey?
Yep.
One big for us on the stream. What was that horse called? He missed the start. He punched up the inside. It was glorious.
Can't remember. Well, is that the early days?
Yeah.
Not socialising.
Yeah, socialising.
No, that's Goblin.
Yeah, but it was Bailey.
But it was Bailey, yeah. Yeah, look, he led and just got run down the other day. Carried the big weight that day and got run down by Southern Swing. There's a little bit of a weight swing there. I'm sure from gate 4, he's another one that'll go forward. I don't know whether he's up to this. Has got a big Flemington figure over the mile, so see, but probably not for me. I'm more interested in the 2 here. I'm interested to see what the market does with the 11 back in trip, and that's sort of the 2 that I'm focusing on.
Okay, very good. That's Eagle Farm. Couple of races there in a nutshell. Meeting overall, Curls, I think it's fair to say it's probably one of the lesser meetings of this carnival.
Yeah, look, it's a pretty low meeting, like first look. Obviously we're not here to promote turf clubs or that unless they want to pay us. But we've got a race here worth 200,000, race 3 at Eagle Farm. Which every horse in this race wouldn't have started favourite behind either of David Van Dyke's runners over 1,350 metres yesterday. So it's a low race for 200 grand. It's just that sort of sums up the day a little bit. But we'll see what unfolds as the day goes on, I suppose.
They're both off to the paddock. Dick's 2 winners from yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah, read that I think it was on socials. Yes.
I enjoy musing about David Van Dyke's runners and why he keeps them away from Saturdays and big race days. It just bemuses me.
He's a beautiful mover, that Orbison. He looks like a horse that could be in calculations for big money races in Sydney and Melbourne in the spring if they wanted to head that way.
Look, I mean, call me old-fashioned, but like you got to knock around for 20,000 on a Wednesday when there's like $125,000 races you can roll around on a Saturday just to test it before you go to the paddock. Like, where are we at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's never been put under pressure, that horse, so we don't know, but he looks smart.
And every one of, well, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of David Van Dyke's horses, for some reason, don't handle the big race days. The doof music, I think David referred to it as,
Doof.
It's like a bomb's gone off in them, and they just get set off.
Yeah. He'd be more a Radiohead sort of man, I reckon.
Anyway, I think a couple of those types of horses from the DVD yard would have added a lot more interest to the meeting, but well done to everyone that took the $1.50 on the all-ups yesterday on the 2 of them.
Well, speaking of interest, let's have a look at Flemington, because every single race is named after VRC members.
Oh, wow. That's what an initiative.
Dutch ruddering.
Dutch ruddering at its finest.
I thought the best named race in all of this was probably race 9.
The Otto Con.
Yeah.
Well, the lockdown for Rhoden, Pistol and myself has been confirmed to continue. So the stream is 100% going ahead on Saturday. So you'll get races 6 to 9 from Flemington, including the Otto Con.
The time-honoured.
The time-honoured Otto Con.
Can we get Otto on the show?
You'll get the Otto, if you're watching, get in touch. pistol@themailbag.com.au. Also, we'll get the quaddy legs from Rosehill, Eagle Farm, and whatever they give us from the Trench, formerly known as the Trench, now the Swamp, there at Belmont. Exciting little 2 hours of content we're going to try and do for you on Saturday, guys. We're going to preview one and one only race.
Jack,
show.
Before you move to the preview, before we just finish discussing the stream, I'll have a massive disclaimer. I'm actually going to a 1980s themed party on Saturday.
Yeah.
Which actually was started with barefoot bowls at 2 p.m. and then off to dinner at 5. So I'm going to do the stream instead and go to the dinner.
Oh,
so I will likely be in costume.
Well, we have to push that angle non-stop from now until the time the stream starts, because if that doesn't put viewership through the roof, nothing will.
Yeah, well, 100%. It's not a punters club. We're not trying to raise funds. We're just having a stream because we're bored at home.
So are you.
Yeah. Flemington stats punters to get you a little bit excited, and very unique. It surprised me here from the Punting Form stuff, which is again just on the meeting homepage. So if you click the form tab up the top there, open up Flemington, scroll down, I see it, and I almost don't believe it, but Archie Alexander goes at 14% and is just profitable from 800 horses. A lot of horses, a lot of ponies, accurate sort of read. Scroll across, the strike rate drops, but so does the respect from the betting public, because his pot goes up to 26.3% from 128 runners at Flemington, which is like a solid number, unless it's like Weir Waller, well not Weir, Oh, fuck. Ma Oosters, Waller, like one of the gigantic stables. They're not going to have more than sort of 100 runners too often. So it's as good as we're going to get. But yeah, he's flying at Flemington for whatever reason. And you do find that a lot in Flemington, in Victoria. Peter, you'd back me up here. There's certain trainers who are hot at certain tracks for whatever reason it is. We've done it back a long way, and it sort of stands up the test of time. So Archie's a trainer to be positive about at Flemington. And then we go to the riders. Now, this young rider is going at minus 2% pot overall off 2,300 rides at 10% strike rate. This same young rider, his last 100, he's going at 10% strike rate. He's going at just about break even. So he's improving slightly versus the market, but his strike rate's the same. This young rider heads to Flemington. This young rider now strikes at 14.7% from 163 rides, which I think's enough to have an opinion on. 33.1% profit on turnover. Pretty big. This guy obviously feels good, likes the big stage, likes the big track. His name's Michael Poy. If you find him, you want to back one of his horses, do so with confidence. He's riding really well at Flemington.
That's his Carleen Heffel.
What?
Carleen.
She's had 5 runners.
Yeah. Rode a Saturday double. Back from Perth. Into her work. 13% the last 100. 7.6% pot. Good on you, Carleen.
Shirley Temple just won race 2 at Wangaratta. Well, Shirley Hunter, not Shirley Temple.
I tell you what, Jack, there's another name there just hidden away that's been profitable at Flemington.
Yeah.
From 477 rides.
He's back.
Michael Jordan said it in 2 words. I'm back. So is this man this week.
Ladder up.
Benny Miller.
Yeah. Look, excited to have him back on course. Yeah.
7.9% profit on turnover at Flemington. Just going out there.
Despite his layoff, Mark Zara's had more winners than him at Flemington, but he's near the top of the tree still. Anyway.
Do we have to treat... Do you treat riders coming back from long layoffs cautiously early days, or what do you do?
You try and... I've tried to get a bit of information, which I've got. He's a bit fat for a jockey. Because obviously none of them are fat. But... So he's just easing into his work. So I'm trying to stay calm and not get too horned up for his rides. He's only riding heavy. Then I'm trying to get in the head of the jockey. You know, what do they love more than anything in the world?
Money,
cash. Now, he's not gone to Queensland. So when's the next carnival?
Melbourne.
So he's just going to get through his work. He's going to find the right horses. I think he's going to be patient. I think he's going to try and win some big races in the Victorian spring.
Yeah, it's a fair plan. Plausible.
Yeah, well, I think it's a healthy plan too.
Yeah.
What else have I got to do, Peter? Race 9, didn't I say?
Yes.
Okay, 2,000 metre race. Now, rails out 8 metres on Saturday at Flemington. Anticipate that equals an even pattern. Quite an even pattern. They like to hug the fence early because they think it's the good ground, which lets them run on. If anything, I think it'll be hard to lead, but I never want to firmly have that position. I'm sure most of you guys will be the same. But I'm hoping they get back, and I'm hoping they can get back, and I'm hoping they can run on. Now, we backed this horse last start, I think we did. We were certainly close to. If we didn't, that's number 16, Luna Flair, for Graham Begg and Mickey D, who bent us over, didn't spit, and jammed us so hard yesterday when they rolled forward on Scatoon, which was a great ride by Michael, and somehow, I don't know how he held on to stop vainly running past it, which was a 22-unit swing. Anyway, thought it was great last start. I think it'd be better suited here. There's enough horses for enough tempo. I think $8 is a great price. I think it starts closer to $6, and it's a horse you can sort of back now with some confidence. That's race 9, number 16, Luna Flair, who's third up. Mick D sticks. Mick D's confident. Graham Begg's flying. Tick, tick, tick. Bet, bet, bet. Good luck.
Look, funny you mentioned that. It has trimmed up already a little bit.
We backed it and sent it just before
Yep.
the show started. Utilising the NBLs, which Racing Victoria has led from on the front foot.
Yes, isn't it wonderful? Quick question.
What about the... sorry,
Which, if it does increase prize money, if it does increase wagering, it'll increase prize money. So maybe, what's his name? We'll make everyone do it. I don't know.
Who? God.
Well,
God
John
doesn't
Massara?
exist, Peter.
Talking about
Yeah,
Massara.
Massara, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, settle down, breeders. I was going to ask about
depends.
Exelman here.
Completely and utterly, blessed last start.
Yep.
We're on. Was it not one of the greatest rides J Car's ever? Everyone frosts on a Group 1 rides because that's the victims just watch all the big races and swing around. I watch her every day. Dan Yendall took her on here. This was an outstanding ride. It was a small field. She was blessed in runs, suited. Very different race here. Lamming struggles to win races and always has at Flemington. If you dig through his stats, it'd be awful. She's flying and she can probably overcome barrier 11, but it's certainly not going to get the same sort of run that it got last start.
Yep, that was my impression, and I was leaning towards it. Clearly not starting favourite.
I don't like 26 days between runs. Last week came out last week. Last week did come out last week and ran a good race behind Yonkers. But the forms, the benchmark figure has stood up out of those races, but 26 days, there's enough of a reason to not want to back this horse at that price.
That is fair. And look, just here's one for you. Somerset Morm. I'm pretty sure we backed this last start, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it was then scratched though, wasn't it?
Don't know. I thought we backed it at Flemington when it ran nowhere behind Don't Doubt Dory. Anyway, it had an SPS.
Oh yeah, no, we backed Somerset. We backed Somerset Morm and fucking Luna Flare.
Yeah. So it
Luna
was
Flare
almost
flew and
yeah, same SP basically as Luna Flare. Now it's all of a sudden $35, 40 to 1 with emergencies at one of the joints. Our man Gladrap jumping on board. Blinkers back on for D O'Brien.
Replaces D Oliver. Yeah, I don't know. I find this horse quite hard to catch. It seems to need a lot of things to go right. It has won at Flemington, but it was flying when it did that. So it was shithouse at Sandown, beaten lengths by an awful horse you've never heard of. Then it came out and won at Sale. We backed it that day. It was the last race at Sale. It was a big bet.
Yeah.
It then went to Morphettville, won twice. Then came to Flemington, ran 5th behind Parade. Then it knocked off Rainbow Thief at Flemington. Flying. This preparation, it ran second last to Dice Roll. Came 5th to Spring Choice. And then was awful behind Don't Doubt Dory 12 days ago. So I think it deserves to be a pretty big price. It has got the SP profile, but what is it showing you that makes you want to back it other than the SP?
Nothing in particular. Just thought I'd throw it out there. But it is Danny O'Brien's stable, and they're one where wouldn't be surprised if it improved. But just thought I'd ask the question more than anything. Good
question.
The standout stat on the trainer jockey combo for me here, just with the number of rides, is Kieran Maher, David Eyebrows with jockey Ben Allen on.
Who's actually not John Allen's son, I found out the other day.
Fucking kidding? What do you
He's
think
not.
it was?
Oh yeah,
It's not Irish, but
well, I've never heard really either of them speak.
Did J. Allen sire B. Allen when J. Allen was fucking 11 or something? Really that much?
No, well, John Allen would be I'd say he's near 40. Ben Allen would be about 22.
It's mathematically possible, but he was living in Ireland when Ben Allen was born.
Anyway.
Oh, I didn't do that. I didn't dig that deep. I just saw fucking B. Allen and J. Allen. Both jockeys.
He wins 1 in 4 when he rides for the stable.
Yeah, this is a good pickup.
Do you think Steve Smith is, I don't know, Brian Smith's son or something?
Well, if if a young Smith came through in like 20 years and was a bit odd but scored big runs, I'd consider them related until told otherwise.
Fair.
So when a young short guy comes along, and I know, and they're both a bit tall to be jockeys.
I tell you what, if Ben Allen was John Allen's son, you would have seen it on racing.com at least 1 million times. # love the horseman.
Oh, # love the horse. I love it, I love it.
I'm new to
# show me what. Yeah, no, let's not go there.
Anyway, he wins at a very strong strike rate, 23 from 99. He's probably on one with no IP though, is he?
Well, also Ben Allen's been riding really, really well lately. We talked about it maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Pistol deep dive or a preview. He's hit form. It's riding good. What's he on here though?
Yeah, Ciurleo.
I like this horse a lot. Just found this race tricky, and it's John Barrow 19. I wouldn't be surprised if they scratch.
Yeah.
I really like Rhoden. We would have backed it like maybe half the times it's run around.
I recall being on it a few times.
Back to first ever start when it was given a god awful ride by John Allen, and then at someone, it might have even been Linda Meach. No, it was John. John took it to Pakenham, and we got a pretty good price. Pissed in, it was glorious. Down the outside, right down the outside fence.
Absolutely wonderful. Okay, guys, weekend ahead. Dickens, you've got Flemington. Where else are you betting?
Well, we will have bet at Wangaratta by the time this goes up, I think.
Yep.
We're on a great prices today. Please, God, get a result. Tomorrow's a synthetic at Pakenham, so we'll assess the maidens, but that'll be it. And then it's a big weekend, though. We're going to do every single race by race at Flemington, but also have a really good set of prices and like detailed work and hopefully better stack at Bendigo on the Saturday. It's one of probably is our most profitable track at the moment. And then Geelong on Sunday, which is a good meeting.
Very good. I like it. Shane Ciurleo, yourself?
I've done some work on the Sunshine case for Friday, but it's going to be more of a... I'm going to start this one. What I'm going to be doing from now on is starting to practice strongly to get us prepared for the grubbery and the outrageous out-wide betting we're going to do from July 1 when the NBLs kick in. When they put the price up, we bet. So I started to change the way I do it a little bit to make sure that we're ready to roll. So we're just going to pick the eyes out of Friday. We'll pick the eyes out of Toowoomba Saturday night. It's worked for us since we've been going down that track rather than race by race. And same with the Gold Coast. I'm going to pick the eyes out of those prices there for us as well. And then obviously with the stream, we'll be focusing on race by race at the big meeting at Eagle Farm.
All right, sounds
it's a new type of anxiety with these NBLs, you know, like on a Wednesday. You're just sort of like trying to get up as quick as you can because you don't want to miss something. Like if it goes up $12 and you get there and want to back it and it's now $8. Anyway, just another form of anxiety that the racing game gives you.
I don't know whether you see it there, but I certainly see it here, is that like it's the fucking quick and the dead. You know, I saw a horse yesterday, actually, we backed a horse yesterday that won. Yeah, I know. It'd been a week. Like, I was like, fuck, this is overs. I better get myself sorted here. We'll send this out. And, like, price moves $1. Like, before you even think about fucking typing an email.
Yeah. Well, the worst thing is, too, like, you can look on, like, the way we get our form, our sheets.
Yeah. And
go, fuck, this is probably a bet. And then you check the prices. Oh shit, that's $10. Then you go and do the race. Yeah, it's $4. It's $7.50 for you being diligent.
Yeah.
Like I really do think it's just articulate replay watchers with black bookers who are just
bang.
They're not price sensitive.
They're just
going,
taking
fuck, that's in, sweet.
Yeah.
Like there's a horse. So there's a race on Saturday. It might be race 4 at Flemington. Is that the one Odeon's in, guys?
Checking and...
No, it's not. Race 5. Yeah, race 5. Odeon's in. It's a black booker of mine from last start. It's been knocked off slightly. Ruby Saki's in it, which is another black booker. So I can't just blindly back them all. Ocular's in it, which is a horse I love.
You often see him like just turn off because of some early grubbery. I mean, I call it early grubbery. It's not that anymore. It's
people doing their work and finding their spot. Yeah. Like when you start in the game and you've got zero responsibility, like if I was living at home in my mum's house, paying fucking $25 a week for my like upstairs level of the house without a job, I'll be knocking off everything.
Which
I'm wiping 2 kids' asses and trying to pay a mortgage, so I've got plenty going on. But good on them, that's I'd be doing the same. Exactly.
Funny you say that. I've actually asked Mum and Daddy if they've got any room off of their house. But sometimes very often you do see them get turned off, and you just got to be patient, and you just take a better price on the day.
Yeah, that's exactly
if you've done the work and priced the race, you can see, well, it went up 9s, I've got it 5s, it's 5s now.
Wait,
I'll back this at $7 later.
Yeah, but so like Odeon went up $9. Straight away I was in a $6.57.
Yeah.
Ruby Saki went up sort of $4. That's been knocked off, and so is Yearlong January, the same race, which I think was also one of our black bookers, Curls, from that Caulfield meeting.
It was.
The market has to ease between now and Saturday. It's 125%. They can't all stay short.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's a lot of movement come race day. I really think the NBLs are working wonders in Victoria and will be proven right and will be taken on everywhere else. Like the fluctuations in movement yesterday at Sandown even was enormous. I think the market's still a really good guide to tactics, but it's less and less sort of, they can drift and win more. I feel like they can drift and win more at the moment than a year ago, 2 years ago. But it's still a great guide to how that horse is going to be ridden. Like that roughie we backed in the last yesterday, I thought could have rolled forward and sat outside the lead or sat even 3 wide on the speed. That last 10 minutes, it went from like 46 on the fair to 60. Where'd it settle? Settled last.
Yep.
Speaking of enormous, I have to add this in because I know Pistol won't. We've spoken about this on the review and the preview and every other view show that we produce. Pistol in the last in Perth.
It's coincidence.
We said how we always like double press and...
I'm disgusted in some of our... If you're watching and you are some of our clients, it's like so disappointed in you. Was there 3 or 4 people who didn't even see the bet, and 2 days after Curls Curls was pushing to triple double press these things. It doesn't get any easier than when they're $35 on the fair to you can 8 times press those fucking things.
Pistol sent the last winner yesterday, Brother Paddy, for probably or possibly Australia's greatest import, Lactar Romilly, friend of the show.
Lactar.
He sent this thing at 26s. It went into 23s for a split second and then straight to 26. It's continued to drift on the fair to 30s.
Yeah.
And Pistol sends a bet, and you're like, oh no, it's Pistol in the last. It's 30s. It's so glorious. If there's anyone out there that wants to marry a bloke that's going to be rich and famous, and you're already a naturalised Australian or an Australian resident, get over to Perth, marry Lactar, and keep him in the country. So Pistol can keep tipping horses that he's riding to keep winning.
Do it for your country.
If you fucking haven't already, get hold of Pistol's set and double press in the last.
But if you can't do that, and you know someone who could, get them go on quarantine.
It'll be worth it.
And have a great weekend on the punt, guys. We'll see you on the stream.